Hey everyone, thanks as always for stopping by. So today I wanted to talk about this book. I don't have a physical copy with me because I had to return it to the reading room from which I lent it. But anyway, let's talk about it. Okay everyone, we're talking about Agatha Christie's The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. It's, I believe, the fourth installment of her Hercule Poirot series. It's a classic, and this one was actually, I think of all of her Hercule Poirots, this is probably the flagship. I could be wrong about that. This book review is going to have some spoilers in it, which is totally fine because, I mean, it's such a classic. It's such an old novel. It's known for the fact that I'm about to spoil it about, which is the unreliable narrator tone that she deploys. It's not an uncommon device, I guess you could say, literary device in literature these days, you know. But for its time, I believe this came out in the early 20th century, it was really like earth-shattering, you know, a very earth-shattering way, a novel way of telling a story within the murder mystery milieu. And you have to understand, like, Hercule Poirot was very much inspired by Sherlock Holmes, even though Agatha Christie kind of had some of her own personal problems with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. But Sherlock Holmes, of which I've read the whole corpus, by the way, it's my favorite. I just love that sort of murder mystery. You know, it is the real quintessential detective story. But Sherlock Holmes, I would say, he popularized a very budding category. The first person who really sort of got the category kicked off was Wilkie Collins with Moonstone and The Woman in White. And those are absolutely fantastic classics for starting off this category. And then, as I mentioned, you know, a little later, you've got the popularization of it with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. And then now you've got Agatha Christie coming into the early 20th century and really perfecting it. And you, as I mentioned earlier, you end up with this unreliable narrator tone, which is really neat if you've not experienced it before. I suppose more modern iterations of this would be like, think of Secret Windows, something along those lines, where now you're dealing with mental imbalance, of course. You're not dealing with somebody who admits it in the end. You come to that realization with the main character at the sort of simultaneously, right? That's how it's laid on you when you're reading the book. But still, it's a version of that unreliable narrator. And it's very atmospheric. I don't really know what else to call this. It really enhances the time period, if you will. You know, you've got these new telephonic technologies coming online. And I mean, it seems so dated by our perspective, but back in Agatha Christie's day, this would have been, you know, like smartphones, for heaven's sakes, you know, really, really cutting edge. So it's neat to read in that time period when it was sort of budding technology, and it's like, you know, people wouldn't have expected that this new technology was used to commit a murder. So the book that I had read as well had a really neat background with Hercule Poirot, you know, that was written by Agatha Christie, some commentary about, you know, her conception of this guy and the attitude she gave him, and how she was trying to make him different from Sherlock Holmes, the Sherlock Holmes brand, but still playing off of it with like a dim Watson character, you know what I mean? Who, as it turns out, is not particularly dim after all. But anyway, I would highly recommend this book. I gave it 5 stars. It's very captivating. You settle right into it. It's a page turner. You won't want to set the book down. And yeah, I mean, being the first book that I read of Agatha Christie's, I think I got one of the best ones I could have gotten. So this is neat. If you have any other recommendations, if you're a big Agatha Christie fan, I would love to hear from you guys. If you can recommend some of your favorite novels there. They don't necessarily have to fall within the Hercule Poirot universe, but I would certainly like to see what you guys come up with, and I'd like to talk to you guys about this book in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Hey everyone, I hope you liked this video. If you want more like the one you just watched, click the suggested video on this screen. Make sure you subscribe, and to connect with me on my other platforms, my handles are linked below in the description, alright? Take care, peeps. Till next time.